Hey, everybody. Welcome to Legion Chalk Talk podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Today, I have the honor of talking to Alexander and Hanna Rothberg. I met these two. I met Hanna 2 years ago and Alexander last year at the Coaches Summit or the Coaches Congress Coaching Summit in Sweden. And I'll tell you what, I was impressed by them right away. Some things about these guys, they started their gym just 7 months ago, the Islands of Granite CrossFit. And Alex has been running his own business for 10 years. And Hannah's been a CrossFit coach for a year and a half. These two run a phenomenal show. And I can't wait to get into that. But some really cool things about them. Alex does judo. Which I'm a little jealous of. But more so, I'm jealous that he competes in shooting. And I think that is just really cool. I might ask you a question about that. And Hanna loves cooking and creating recipes with protein powders that are healthy and nutritious for all the athletes that she talks to and probably for herself. So welcome to the show, you two.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Did I get everything right this time?
I think so.
All right. So
good enough.
Yeah, for our audience, I kind of messed up the first time around. So it never goes as smoothly as you want to. But I remember talking to you two last year and at the Coaches Congress, and you guys were telling me that you were opening a gym. But really, what I left the Coaches Congress with, when you saying I think we're going to go with Level Method, was not that I was excited that we were adding another gym, because I was, but I was excited because of your personalities. I really, really enjoyed the questions you asked. They made a lot of sense. They really showed a true focus on what matters. And so let's start with there, because if my impression of you two has anything to do with how your business has gone, I'm thinking it's probably going pretty good. So 7 months in business. But before I say any more, I want to put that in context. About 7 months ago is when COVID hit worldwide, and you're not exempt from that. Whereabouts are you guys in the world? And let's talk about that opening.
Yeah, we're on a small island in the Nordics, and we actually decided and spent all our money on opening just the week before it hit. So we were pretty scared.
Yeah. So how long had you been planning on opening your gym?
Well, just a few months, really.
Yeah. Actually, we decided to do this in January.
Yeah.
And everything went really fast. We wrote the contract on our facilities in 1st of February. We actually had to contact Coaches Congress after you were actually allowed to join, to ask if I could come one day later to learn stuff and meet you guys.
Yeah, because that was Coaches Congress was the same week that we decided together with the contractors that we could use this facility. So we didn't know before the same week.
So it was a busy week. Yeah, because at Coaches Congress, it's classes pretty much all day where you're learning about how to run a business. You're talking to other business owners. You're hearing from the mentor groups and people who are just the best in the business. So I bet your minds were kind of exploding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you find a lot of value in that event?
Yeah, we met you. Well, actually, I knew a lot about Level Method through Hanna before, but I was like, yeah, we're gonna have this, and then we actually met the guys that have our system for booking classes and stuff like that, and one of the suppliers of our equipment on the same day.
Oh, that's excellent. So you got a lot of good connections from that event. I've been to that event twice, gone to Sweden twice for that event, and it is an extraordinarily run event. It's just really well run. There's so much you can learn from it. So that's a really great way to start your business. So you pull the plug, you say go, and COVID, boom, hits.
Yeah.
What were the conversations like for you guys at that point?
Well, we were pretty nervous if we were going to be able to open at all, but we only had like a 10 people limit here in Finland. So we were able to open, but we had to limit the classes. But it actually worked out pretty well. It was kind of nice for us as a newly open business to only have 8 people at a time for classes. We could like take it a day at a time and really see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, since we already spent all our life savings on this, it was just like, yeah, forehead first and just go.
Hope for the best.
I think honestly, I think some of probably the strongest businesses moving forward are the ones who either came into COVID prepared and even buckled down more and create even more robust of a business system, and those that started during this, because you're starting in the absolute most adversity possible, and you're setting all of your systems and things in place when it's the absolute hardest. And it should be just a downhill glide right after this, you would think, but I think it's really going to build a really strong business. On that, you guys were obviously talking to people in your community prior to opening, because what were your opening numbers as far as members?
Yeah,
I think we had about 40 or something like that.
Day one.
Like really from the beginning, but filling up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And from the beginning, it was mostly people who had done CrossFit before, because there were no longer a CrossFit box at this island. And these were people who really wanted to do CrossFit.
Okay. So you were filling a need.
When are you going to open? We need to start now.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's great. So 7 months later, with limited class sizes, what are your numbers now?
Yeah, now we don't have limits anymore. So we hope that continues, because the spread is picking up a bit in Finland.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens to us, but it looks promising, we would say. We hit our goal was 100 members in this year, and we hit that in June.
We were hoping for like January.
Yeah,
so
that's great. 6 months ahead. Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but we're just under 180 members now.
Wow. Okay.
With a line out the door.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to talk about that a little bit if we have time, but I just read your a blog post, coincidentally, by Level Method, was just dropped yesterday, where you guys were interviewed about how you marketed. And so I'm assuming that plays a pretty good role, and as well as building the environment and the culture specifically that you want. And just as a teaser for everybody, that's a culture of extroverts. You decided we want extroverts, and that was a phenomenal blog post. And I think that every gym owner, I'm going to connect it in the show notes to this podcast, but I think every gym owner should go read that, because it's not something I'd never heard of. And I think it's a phenomenal answer to a question many people are looking for, is like, how do I get the right people in the door? And it's not just about money and where you live and some of these, are you single, are you married, ages. There's other elements that are super important. Did you get experience doing marketing in your prior business, Alex, or did you just kind of dive into it here?
Yeah, I've always had a different way of marketing myself that mostly outwards looks like I'm not marketing myself.
Great. Yeah.
So I try to identify who the people are that will use my services, and then I apply a filter on what I believe that they actually want to see and want to do. So, but in my in my other businesses, I don't really market myself, because I let my work speak for myself, because word of mouth is always the best kind of marketing.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago, I put down some rules. I never talk shit about my competition. I'm always honest. So, and that has played me, and I always do my best. That's the 3 things I do, and they seem to work out very well, because then I focus on the right things, and then I deliver on a product that they want, and then everybody wants it.
Yeah. And I imagine you've carried those over into the Island of Granite CrossFit.
Yeah, no. It's a bit different here though. This is a lot more marketing.
Yes. Yeah. So let's rewind a little bit. So Hanna was introduced to Level Method a year before. The gym she was working with was going through the onboarding phase, and so she was aware of it. And so when you guys decided to open, like, why Level Method? Like, what about that made sense, and why did you make that decision? What was that initial reason you wanted to use Level Method?
Well, I want to say there are several different reasons, but the one we like the most is that there are like really clear expectations on each member depending on their level, since they know, okay, this is my thing to do, I don't need to compare with the others. And what we hear most from our member as well, and which is what I loved, is that you don't have to scale down, always feel like you can't do the right thing that you're supposed to do, and it's hard to know what would be the right weight or whatever. And this makes it so much easier. So instead they feel like they get to make it harder for them once they start to get better, which is a lot more fun.
That is more fun. So it's kind of flipping it, like I'm not making everything lower. I'm actually where I'm at and making it harder as I go. I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not feeling like you're being held back. You feel more of pushing forward instead.
Yeah.
I love that. I've never heard it explained like that, actually, but I really like that. Yeah. Use that. It's really good. So it was using Level Method from the very beginning a decision you're happy you made?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, why do you think starting it when you started it was a good decision?
Well, first of all, since we had it from the beginning, for all our members, it's like, well, this is how we do it. It's no question about it, even though we had a lot of people who had been doing CrossFit before. But since it was a new location, a bit different, it was easier, I think, maybe to do the transition. And for the new members, they don't even ask why we are doing this. And also when we get members from who has been doing CrossFit at other boxes or come from other countries, they're like, oh my God, this is so great. So yeah, we're very happy.
When they move away again, some people just live here during the summer. They always try to find the Level Method gym to where they go, because it just doesn't do it for them anymore to not have it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really good feedback. So you guys have a lot of people that come just for the summer. And so
a lot of we're summer islands. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had already been in business for 3-4 years, would you have still brought on Level Method?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I'm curious, so you started with a lot of people that were coming from a previous CrossFit experience, no more CrossFit gyms in the area. So they were like knocking down your doors, like, let us unpack the equipment. Let's go. Right. So
yeah, they actually carried stuff in for us.
Yes, they were here helping us.
Yeah. I remember when I opened my gym, it's like, I like working out and I like moving weights, but this is a different way of moving weights. It was a lot of work unpacking weights. It's amazing. So it's good that you had friends to help. How did they feel about Level Method as you were starting to open? They'd been exposed to CrossFit, your standard CrossFit methodology. Did you have any hesitations from anybody?
Not really.
No, not really. We had been very open about it from the beginning and explaining why we liked it. So I think they were very open-minded and kind of quickly started to see why we liked it and why we chose it. So
yeah. And CrossFit people are a special kind of breed that likes to push themselves. So then we opened up with 2 weeks of testing, and everybody was like, yeah, psyched. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So we got like 80% of the members got their levels in 2 weeks. Like it was insane.
That is incredible. Those are really, really good numbers, which leads me to the next question is, okay, so you had a really good starting of your gym, you implemented Level Method. How did you start? how did you assess people? How did you control that situation as people were coming in and signing up, and you're like, I want to get everybody assessed, and to get, you said 80 or 70% of everyone had their overall level, or was it?
Alright.
That's great. That's incredible. So,
everybody was a bit starved on CrossFit, so they had been training for a while because it took a couple of months for us to open, and so we just like was 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
3 weeks. I think we had like really only testing, just to get people their levels, and then also for the next month we had a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Opportunities to do testing. So we like run tests and other programming, so they could choose. Like for the first month, we were trying to be very like, okay, yeah, you can test that, that's fine. And then we did more normal programming after that, just because we wanted people to get their levels.
Yeah, we were many times, or most of the times, we were two to three coaches in every class, just to get people to do both the workout and the tests.
Yeah. So because
the 10 people rule.
Yeah, two coaches.
Yeah.
Two coaches.
So running 2 or 3 coaches costs more typically. I don't know about for you guys, because I know maybe both of you are there, but running 2 or 3 coaches costs more. But some people are probably going to wonder, like, is it worth it to get everybody through the assessments? Is there a return on investment or an ROI on that? Because I mean, a lot of gyms are gonna be like, wow, I don't want to pay for that.
Well, it saves you a lot of work in the end, because if you do that when you implement it, you get a lot of people through the system really, really fast. And so we still have people coming in from that have no levels but have done CrossFit before and don't want to do a kickstart.
Right.
So it's not a lot of work getting them to do levels, because there's so few now. But in the beginning, no one had a level. So
right.
I would say it saved us a lot of work and made people more hungry to do the assessments.
And I think that's probably the most powerful part of it for your member, the ROI part. Like, you saved a lot of work, and that's incredible. And I think that says a lot. But you said it made people more hungry for it. Yeah. And I think that's where the true magic probably happens, because if they're hungry to assess again, or to get those done, or to really engage in the full level method experience, they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay with you, right? Of course, you're on an island.
They have nowhere to go.
Yeah. I mean, there are other gyms. We have to be very clear. Yeah. There's other gyms that do functional fitness on the island. So we have to, but so retention is super important. So I would think that would be pay off tenfold for the extra you pay for more coaches up front, as well as the effort and frustration that occur if one person is trying to herd butterflies, right? You got all these people flying around doing different things. So were you guys super strict when you first assessed, or were you pretty lighthearted, and just had fun with it? What was kind of the environment?
Both. Yeah. I would say our members really like the testing, so it's really not hard to motivate them to do stuff like that. But we're super strict on the movements.
Yes,
great.
If you're 1 second short, you're 1 second short.
Yeah.
So we were really, really strict, and we continue to be really, really strict with the testing as well. And we really follow the standards, and that has led to some kind of group mentality that you do not cheat on movements.
Yeah. So even if it's just a regular workout.
Yeah, that's incredible. So I want to touch on what you said. You said that they really are motivated to test. They really like to test. Newsflash, that comes from you guys. Like that is from you. So what did you do to create an environment where people like this and they love it and they're engaged in it?
Oh, that's a hard question.
Yeah.
I don't know, really. We put it out there.
We have like a group for members only on our Facebook, where we'll like put, okay, this is what we're going to do this week, and if there's any extra information, we tell them there. And so we had like, okay, these are the tests you can do this week. Woohoo! On Monday we're going to do this. On Tuesday you can choose this one instead if you want to. And like really trying to get the hype up there so they're prepared. And I think that may have had some impact.
Yeah, and the old gang that started right away, that they have a very big competition mentality. So when they started testing and like psyching up for a test, everybody else just joined in.
Yeah, I think it's mostly the members just being really psyched about it that has led to newer members also being very psyched.
Yeah. So
it takes the fear away because everybody does it. Everybody thinks it's fun.
Yeah.
Right.
So we actually have to break our members.
Yeah.
Like, no, you cannot test today.
You can wait another
We
month.
can test this next week.
That's a really good problem to have. I think having people be that engaged and wanting to be better, and one of the best ways to be better is to come into your facility and practice what they want to be better at. So, I mean, it's a really great equation. I'm gonna add to what made it so successful, because I think this is really important for other people to understand, is from the second I met both of you at different times, from the second I met both of you and talked to you, you totally got it. Like you were 100% bought in on the idea, and you understood it. And I think when you understand it at that level, and I call it buying in, when you bought in that high of a level, other people are going to follow. It's inside of you. And when you talk about it, there's no wavering, there's no questioning. This is the best way. So did you guys have any other coaches working with you when you first opened, or was it just you two?
Just us.
Yeah, and another one who's also
Owner
of the gym. So yeah.
Yeah. All
He
right.
was like that as us. So
Yeah, it was really easy to buy into this as well, because as I told Nathan on Facebook a couple of days ago, I actually had the idea to quantify CrossFit before.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw that someone had done it, I was like, awesome, we'll go with it.
Yeah. That's a pretty common. That's a pretty common statement from gym owners that really make a good go at this. Is like, I've had this in my mind for a long time, and or they've even tried it. So that's a really great point. So you understood from a very basic starting level, this is something we need to have. We need to have this quantification. So what tools do you use from Level Method? Because I already heard you say Kickstart. And so tell us what version of the Kickstart you use at this time.
well, we do the 5 times Kickstart, and we've both done it in small groups. We've had 6 people. I think we started with 8, but realized that's way too many.
Right.
6 people in a small group, or we do PT sessions either one-on-one or with 2 people, and it's worked really great. I've translated them to Swedish.
The slides.
The slides, yeah.
So do you actually use the slides in your Kickstarts?
Yeah.
What is your feeling about that? Do you feel like it helps in any way? And if so, how, using the slides?
I do. I feel like it's maybe mostly for me, but also because it depends kind of from people to people. Some people really look at them and they're like, oh, okay, interesting. And others like totally ignore them. But it helps me to stay on track and kind of remember what I usually say and what I tend to forget.
Yeah, having them actually makes it, you don't really have to prepare as much, because if you forget something, just press the arrow key and you'll get the next slide and you'll remember.
Yeah,
Do you use a tablet?
It doesn't matter for the client who they are going to do the Kickstart with, if it's me or if it's Alex or if it's one of the other coaches. It's going to be kind of the same experience anyway, which I like.
Yeah, I think that's a big point. Is a lot of people really like the consistency of the Kickstarts, of the assessments, and of the programming. Is that from one person to the next, it's very repeatable, and it's the same product. And And I think that's really important for consistency and for the members to feel safe and comfortable no matter what class they attend. So do you use a tablet for your Kickstarts?
TV.
Oh, a TV. So you just click oh, that's awesome.
Okay. We have a small computer, like a stick computer inserted into it. So we just, if there are no classes, like in the mornings, sometimes we use the big TV, and we just use laptops if the classes are full.
Or iPad.
Or iPad.
Yeah. Okay. That's excellent. So do you use any of that? What other things do you use of Level Method? So we're using Kickstarts. Are you guys using the programming?
Yes, we're using the programming, and we absolutely love it. I don't think we could live without it.
It saves us so much time, because it's a full-time job to like actually do it that well. So it would take us an extra person to do it, and it would take way too much time.
And it probably wouldn't be as good either.
Yeah. Are your members enjoying it, and how is it going?
They love it. They really love it. They are really amazed by their results. And my brother, who moved to Berlin recently, he told me he's missing the Level Method programming.
We have a Level Method gym in Berlin, so yeah. Well, that's really exciting. So what are you guys? Do you guys track the workouts with your members? Do they have workout tracking?
No,
unfortunately not, because the system we use don't have that function.
Okay, so you're probably looking forward to that being integrated. What's that? Go ahead.
What? I didn't hear.
Oh, you're probably looking forward to Chalk It being integrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because our members are actually asking for being able to track, and we've told them it's coming.
Yeah.
So they stopped asking about it, but but they're going to hold us to it. So
of course they are. Yeah.
we need to fix it.
Yeah.
And regarding the programming as well, I just wanted to say that only yesterday, one day, 3 different people were like, "This programming is awesome. I never got these results before." So that's in one day, and it comes every day. Someone is like, "This is awesome. I'm just doing stuff I could never do before."
So they're seeing the results.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Are they having fun?
Yeah, loads of fun.
That's really important too. I mean, for a gym you're delivering a product. So it's extremely important that you get results. You're a gym. People want results. But there is a history of fun wrapped up in the workouts. So I think having both is really important. So I'm really happy to hear that.
Fun is one of the fundamental parts, I would say, because if it's not fun, you won't show up.
Then you won't get results.
Yeah, no, the program can be perfect, but if it's not fun, no one will be there. Except for a few dedicated souls, but probably not the extroverts.
Right. The extroverts, and that's who you're marketing. That's who you want in your gym, or extroverts.
Yeah, we do stuff like yesterday. It was muscle ups on the programming.
Mm-hmm.
We actually added jumping muscle ups.
Oh, that's a cool idea. How did people receive that?
Yeah, they loved it because it's a fun movement. It's a really fun movement.
Yeah. And was that on the bar, like a bar muscle up?
Yeah.
Or rings?
Bar muscle up. It was like, it's like jumping chest to bars or something like that. You put the box a little bit higher though, and then you just do the jump instead of the kip. And that enables people that can't do strict muscle ups and just practice the movement in a safe way, because they catch themselves by the feet, not by the shoulders.
Yeah. So what? That's really fun. What level did you integrate that at, or what levels did you let do that?
Yeah, actually, because it's so safe and it's pretty hard to do, so we actually let anyone do it, because I think
it's only purple who could do it anyway.
Yeah, so only the purple one could get up anyway. So everybody try it at least, and most of them just tried it and couldn't do it. And those who could do it was like purple plus that could actually do it. So but only that they got to try it, even though they couldn't do it, made it fun.
Yeah, but it was still safe. I mean, I'm thinking through that process, and there's no risk there that I can think of. That's really fun. I'm gonna the programming. Nathan needs to hear this, and he will. So, yeah, that's fun. Yeah, so you've done some of your own little twists to the programming as well, then.
Yeah, we always do that in regard of equipment, and
Yep.
Yeah, we do not live in a warm area,
Yeah,
so
so we're not going
You're wearing jackets. Yeah.
we've had snow already.
Yeah, so you're not outside running.
No.
So let's talk about that. So a new person comes in and they want to get their overall level, but they can't run. What do you guys do?
We're discussing that right now.
Yeah, well, you're new, so
it's a new problem.
It's a new problem because we've had summer and everything was fine, but now we can't really run. Some days it's warm. We are on an island, so it can shift. The heat can shift a lot. So it can be rain and snow one day and sunshine and warm the next. So it really depends a little bit on the day, but it will get colder, and we're talking about substituting the running for air bike, but only up to like Blue 3.
Right.
To not do the 1 mile run, but 400-meter run we think is probably quite representative. But when you go up to the mile, your technique in running also starts to matter more.
Yeah. That's good thinking, because when you do the 5 session kickstart, you're not getting somebody an overall level, are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're getting all of their tests, assessments.
Yes.
I love hearing that. That's really fun. So what if
the rowing is one of the things that gets most people get a lower level is the rowing, because we don't have time to do the 20-minute test.
Yeah, we only do the 10 minutes test.
But you do live on an island, so when they do get to do the 20-minute test, how do they do?
Yeah, they crush it.
That's what I've heard.
We actually had to pose a question in the programming forums that is it something wrong with the test, because everybody's just scoring black, brown, red. We're like, it's something, but yeah, we're pretty tall here as well. I'm a normal guy, and I'm in American ways of measuring things.
6'3", maybe
6'3" or 6'2", something like that.
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
88 centimeters, and I'm pretty normal here. I'm not tall.
Yeah.
We have shorter people as well, but we also have a lot of people. Like one of the guys training with us who was here today, he's tall. He's 205. I think that's like 6'9" or something like that.
That's really tall.
Yeah.
He's tall.
I bet he scores high on that he gets a lot of meters or a lot of power out of each pole.
Yeah.
He actually made the rower move today when he was rowing.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to bring that up because it's so funny that you're like, is there something wrong with rowing? And I don't know. Pretty much everyone else is like, are you guys crazy? That's like one of our lowest scores, So
I've been like checking the levels of our members and seeing if we can find some correlation in who do the rowing good and who does not, and everything like that. And there's 2 kind of people that row score really high: those with a really high overall level, and those who are tall.
Yeah.
So we have people with like yellow in overall level that score red on rowing.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. That is definitely kind of an anomaly, an outlier for sure. Yeah.
And we're also island people, so our members are like over 30 before internet age.
Yeah.
So what did we do? Since we're island people, most of us have like a summer place or something like that. And in the summers, we've been there as kids. There was no internet, no TV, because most people didn't have electricity in the cabins. So what did you do? Yeah, you took the boat and you rowed around that bay like 500 times.
It's just
So everybody just have that movement naturally.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I love seeing the differences in the different parts of the world. Like, you know, for instance, with rowing for you guys and areas that have shorter athletes, I relate to better in some things, but it's very interesting. So let's kind of wrap up with some advice from you guys. If someone is listening to this and they're going to open a gym or they're thinking of opening a gym, what advice would you give them? It can be about level method. It can be without level method, whatever.
Yeah. Know what you're selling. You're actually, we don't believe you're actually in this kind of setting with like small groups and CrossFit type workouts, level method or no level method. You're not actually selling the training. Yeah, you're selling an experience, you're selling a fun time, the best hour of your day. The training is there, it keeps them there. If they get results, they think it's fun, they're there to train, but that's not actually what you're selling. So try to sell the fun.
Right.
Don't tell anyone that you're having fun. Show them that you're having fun.
Yeah.
Because fun things attract fun people, and fun people attract more fun people.
And that kind of comes down to how you market as well. I mean, yeah. Well, that's excellent, you guys.
Be honest also. Don't try to milk. We don't really buy into like milking money out of people.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to think about how do you get to keep the member for 5 years or more. Right. So we're all about the retention. We don't really care a lot about getting new members, because getting new members actually works out really well if you take care of the old ones.
Yeah. And I think that's incredible advice. And so what are your action points behind fun? Like if you're selling fun, what do you guys talk about when, you know, maybe you're bringing on a new coach or you're wanting to make sure that the person is the right fit, and then you're telling them this is how we do it at Island of Granite?
Well, we have a few things, like always trying to make people smile, like without acting like a clown, but trying to get some smiles or some laughs. Don't be too shy or too like occupied with how am I looking, or
Right.
Don't worry about those things. And really yelling hello when someone comes in the door and goodbye when they leave. Really using people's name during classes.
Yeah, learn people's names, really important.
Yeah.
Everybody's names.
Yeah.
And also celebrating like the smallest victories and the biggest ones, and just.
Yeah, we do this thing when we end a class. We recap the class and like give credits where credit's due, and then the coach like screams 1, 2, 3, and everybody claps. And if someone has like got a new level, something, we add an extra clap.
Oh, that's cool.
And our visitors from another box, we give them an extra clap. So we shift it up a little bit with celebrating whatever happens. If it's birthdays or anything, we add claps here and there, and it really adds to the feeling of getting recognized. Yeah. And when there's something we've gotten a lot of what do you call it? Feedback, good feedback today, actually, from several. We have had some members that have gotten pregnant and getting kids.
Uh-huh.
So what we do, no one knew about it. So when we knew that the kid was out, we bought like baby bodies with our logo on and mailed them to them.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it was really well received.
Yeah.
So you have fun, you celebrate everyone when the time is right, and you celebrate consistently.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your level method with all of the opportunities to celebrate is a big tool in that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I love that. Well, thanks you guys so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to this episode of the Legion Chalk Talk. We have this episode or an episode every week on Tuesdays. Of course, you can listen to it any day you want on any podcast platform out there. And if you want to look at our faces, you can join us on YouTube. If you want to know more about Level Method, it's really simple, levelmethod.com. And if you want to know some more about Alexander and Hanna, check out the show notes. We're going to tell you all about them. Thank you so much for being listeners. Have a great week.